So the law as we are now, the surrogate mother is the legal mother at birth. A parental order transfers parental rights, and advertising surrogacy services is currently banned. Essentially, by changing the current model from the one we have now to one with a pre-birth agreement, which grants parental rights to the commissioning parents at birth, we're shifting to a commercial model. There is a clear issue of ownership and how this can, and we feel will, influence the pregnancy, the body autonomy, and the decision-making power of the surrogate mother. Because if you own the baby inside the woman's body, how much of her body and her choices do you own too? We feel that I need to ask, does this shift the arrangement from trust and friendship, which is a narrative that is consistently promoted by surrogacy agencies, to one of property and ownership? And then also, by lifting the ban on advertising, will women be encouraged to sign up as surrogate mothers? We consider this a potential issue when it's put into the context of the cost of living crisis following years of austerity, and now we're living in a post-COVID Britain. There are wealthy women who become surrogate mothers, but if we lift the ban on advertising, and would it appeal to capture single mothers, students, and any other women who are looking to feed their children? So that's one of our concerns. So moving on to our list of concerns is really going over that again, the removal of the legal rights of the surrogate mother at birth. There is no set age of women to be surrogate mothers, but basically in the Brazier report, which I'll get onto a bit later on, it was from 21, and that would be looking to have it to begin at 18 years old. And then there's a general lack of limits, of upper age limits, numbers of pregnancies, etc. I'm just going to spend some time on this because it's quite important, really. We believe that the transfer of parental rights at birth will take us to a more commercial style surrogacy model here in the UK. Currently, the transfer of parental rights takes place via a parental order process, which can be applied for within 6 months after the birth. And it's approved by a judge, but it's a fait accompli, really, as the baby is already in the custody of the commissioning parents from birth, and they are the primary carers. Even the level of expenses rarely raises an eyebrow. So the system largely secures the transfer of parental rights, of legal parental rights, to suit all parties involved, and the 6 months allows for a cooling off period. It's claimed that the current system causes issues around medical decisions, and there's a problem with the automatic parental rights of the surrogate mother's spouse. But medical decisions can be made by the commissioning parents with the approval of the surrogate mother. And there is actually a form that can be completed by the surrogate mother's husband if he wants to relinquish parental rights during the pregnancy. So we don't really see a justification for this change, as there's only a handful of cases have been proven to be challenged in court. There's one recent case, actually. I'm going to ask Liz, if she's on the line, to drop that into the chat. But there was a relationship breakdown between the surrogate mother, her husband on one side, and then the commissioning parents on the other. And it undermines this narrative of the friendship first that's being pushed by surrogacy agencies. There's no one can legally force a friendship between different adults, and this recent case does underline this. It was a recent case ruled by the European Court of Human Rights in May, so just earlier this year, and it kept the mother's name and the name of her husband on the birth certificate of the little girl who she gave birth to and who was commissioned by 2 men. The child arrangement order means the daughter is legally required to have contact with her mother. As we were saying, the minimum age recommended by the Brazier report, which looked at surrogacy law in the UK in 1998, it was for women to be surrogate mothers from 21 years old. And some surrogate agencies set this as their minimum requirement. But the Law Commission suggests that 18 years is the age limit, be the minimum. So to align with legal adulthood, that would be the same for the minimum age for intended parents as well. But this opens up a whole new group of women available for surrogacy, which is a plus for surrogacy agencies, but not so for the women of that age, due to an increase in likelihood for maternal death. And you can look at the statistics on that from Embrace.